Good evening. My name is Nick Sturgeon, President of the Speedway Town Council. It is April 28th at 7:00 p.m. and I call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Starting, we will begin with introductions. To my far right, Town Manager Grant Kleinheinz.
Good evening.
Next to him is Councilor Sarah Gardner.
Good evening.
Next to her is Councilor Sean Harold.
Good evening.
To my far left is Town Attorney Zach Nicely.
Good evening.
Next to him is Town Clerk Treasurer Philip Faust.
Good evening.
Next to him is Councilor Vince Noblet.
Good evening.
And then to my immediate left is Vice President of the Council, Jason DeWile.
Good evening.
All right, we will move on to approval of the minutes for the April 14th, 2025 meeting.
I'll make a motion, to approve the minutes for the April 14th, 2025 meeting.
I'll second it.
Any comments, questions, discussions? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes of the April 14th, 2025 meeting, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Item 3, approval of memorandum of administrative session of the Speedway Town Council on April 14th, 2025.
I'll make a motion that we approve the memorandum of administrative session of the Speedway Town Council on April 14th, 2025.
A second.
Any comments, questions, discussions? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the memorandum of administrative session of the Speedway Town Council on April 14th, 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passes 5-0. Item 4, ordinance number 1410, an ordinance amending Chapter 10 of the Code of Ordinances. Grant?
Yes, so this item is just a cleanup. This is not a new ordinance. This is not adding anything. I know there's been a bit of discussion once we posted the packet on the website on Friday. When we adopted the golf cart ordinance last year, typically those ordinances say something to the effect of every other in-conflict ordinance is hereby repealed. We did not have that language in there. We found that this says, this ordinance, this section, Chapter 10, Section 24.030 says you still can't drive golf carts on public streets. So literally the changes to this ordinance are found in 10.24.030. In Section 5, we're removing every reference to golf cart. We're doing that in Part 6, Part 7 as well. Everything else stands and nothing else has changed. I was asked a question, does this mean we can't park in our yards? Because there is reference to not driving over curb. Not driving over curb is not allowed every other month except for May around the race. I think everybody knows that, so you can still do that. Just, you can't do it the rest of the year, right? You can't drive all over curbs and sidewalks unless you're parking for race events. So with that being said, we are requesting unanimous consent on this and approval on first reading and adoption.
Okay. And I will call for a motion for unanimous consent to pass this in the first reading.
I'll make a motion for unanimous consent and passing it on first reading.
I'll second.
All right. Any comments, questions, discussion on the unanimous consent? All right, hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of passing ordinance number 1410 on unanimous consent under the first reading, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the first motion passes 5-0. Now I will call for a motion to pass the ordinance this evening.
I'll make a motion for ordinance number 1410, any ordinance amending Chapter 10 of the Code of Ordinances.
A second.
Any further comments or discussions on the ordinance itself? right. And Grant, thank you for clarifying that, because I
Sure,
know
yeah.
I had a couple of people email me, I think almost immediately as the packets hit the
Yeah.
website.
And I think I
so-
got 2 emails as well, so,
So,
which that's good. Someone's paying attention.
yep,
That's good.
all right.
4 people.
More people.
Hey, it's better than zero.
Yeah.
All right, any further comments, questions, discussion? Okay, hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving ordinance number 1410 and ordinance amending Chapter 10 of the Code of Ordinances, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Item 5, approval of amendment number 2 to task order number 2 for the wastewater on-call services with Wessler Engineering. Grant.
So this is our on-call agreement with Wessler. We do a 2-year agreement that was approved in 2024 for 2024 and 25. We did a $40,000 amount. That typically covers the 2 years. We've had a lot of additional work with our agreed order project and some other issues with a discharge. So we're asking for a $10,000 increase in that contract. So that's what this amendment says, just increasing from 40 to 50 over this 2-year contract, which we have 8 months remaining.
Is there a motion on the floor?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve amendment number 2 to task order number 2 for wastewater on-call services with Wessler Engineering.
I'll second.
Any comments, questions, discussion?
Grant, do you think 50,000 will be enough,
I hope it is.
knowing that we still have 8 months?
Yeah, I hope
left?
it's enough.
Okay,
yeah.
you feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless something major happens, then I'll be
But just
coming
with
back.
what we're
Yeah,
doing currently.
Typically 20 grand per year is more than plenty.
Okay,
We've
unless.
just had
something's
some other stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Any other comments or discussions? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving amendment number 2 to task order number 2 for wastewater on-call services with Wessler Engineering, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Item 6, approval of the selection of engineering firms to provide construction inspection services for the 25th Street reconstruction project and the Crawfordsville Road pedestrian improvement project. Grant.
Yes, so as you know, we've bid both of those projects out. Both of those projects are scheduled to start in June after the race. One of the things that we have to do, the final step we have to do, is to hire an engineering firm to do oversight of that construction to make sure it's built to plans, the various testing is done with the concrete and the asphalt. We pay for some insurance, for lack of a better word, for them to verify what is being built. We did an RFP. We received 5 responses by the end of the period. It was the end of March. Jared, our deputy street commissioner, Rob, and then myself, Philip, I know also reviewed those. We recommend for the 25th Street project, we're recommending VS Engineering. For the Crawfordsville Road project, we are recommending American Structure Point. You will notice if you look at these proposals, there are not dollar fees associated with these. There are hourly rates that they provided us. So if you approve our recommendation this evening, we would like you to direct me as town manager to execute those contracts and negotiate that fee. My guess is those fees will be anywhere from $200,000 to $275,000, depending on which of the projects it is. We've got that planned into the budget. The MPO will be paying about half of the Crawfordsville Road inspection, which is a good thing. So we recommend both of these and ask you to direct us to seek contracts and get those approved so we can get started in June.
Is there a motion on the floor with the added stipulation to authorize Grant to negotiate the contracts?
Sorry. Do you think we can set a cap at how much?
I mean, the council can. Typically, construction inspection is anywhere from 8 to 12% of a contract price. Both of these projects are about 3.5 million. So to me, 350 would probably be the top end. But I'm going to try to negotiate it to get it in that
Right, but-
200 to 250 range.
I don't know if they can delegate an unlimited authority, but.
So I guess if we want, we can include in the motion a cap
Not to exceed.
not to exceed.
Okay. All right, so I will make a motion for the approval of the selection of engineering firms to provide construction inspection services for the 25th Street reconstruction project and the Crawfordsville Road pedestrian improvement project, giving Grant the authority to negotiate the contracts with an amount not to exceed $350,000. Is that what we said?
Why don't you say 300?
Okay, not to exceed $300,000.
All right.
Confident.
Yeah.
Bring that
Like
down.
it.
Team effort there.
Team effort. Okay.
Now, I can bring those contracts back on May the 12th. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
If I can get them negotiated, I think they could start, I can kind of give them a notice to proceed. I want to keep this moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll second that motion.
All right. Any comments, questions from the council?
Grant, the only thing, it seems like, the proof is the toughest thing as far as inspection goes, because most of the stuff's buried,
Sure.
or, they do such a sloppy job, then it becomes an attorney issue.
Sure,
From that
100%.
sense. And I think making that clear in a pre-con meeting.
Oh, yeah. There'll be
With the,
pre-construction.
from the construction, whoever gets the bids on relationship to that.
So do keep in mind that each of these contracts will require not a bid bond, but a completion bond.
Right.
So we will have that kind of security, and we've had that kind of security on some other projects. The park on Main Street was a prime example of that.
Right.
We kind of forced them to redo it because it wasn't done properly.
Especially we're going down to dirt.
Sure,
On
yeah.
25th Street, so we got, make sure that we get
Yep.
adequate stone base.
And paying a construction inspection company to do that will hopefully keep us on track. Sometimes big projects, you don't necessarily always have to do construction inspection, but these are big enough that we really need to do that.
I'm kind of happy that we're waiting till the weather stabilizes,
Sure.
And especially for tearing all that out and making sure that we get good solid base.
Yeah,
That's critical. I think that's the thing that we were fighting all the time on 25th Street.
yeah. If you don't have a good base, it's not going to do
It's not
well.
going to last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, while we might start the projects in June, the high school project, 25th, probably won't start until July, and if it'll start out of the road, if that makes sense. I don't want to start the road work while they're still, so we'll coordinate that.
All right. Any further discussion, questions? All right. Hearing none, I will call for a vote to approve the selection of engineering firms to provide construction inspection services for the 25th Street reconstruction project and the Crawfordsville Road pedestrian improvement project, authorizing Grant to negotiate on the town's behalf and not to exceed $300,000. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes 5-0. Moving on, item 7, approval of claims and utility adjustments. Philip.
Thank you. I have requests for both. The claims span the dates of April 10th, 2025 through April 23rd, 2025, and they total $1,270,378.38. There were a few additions from the packet on Friday, namely the sewer bond payment and a couple of the payments to O'Reilly Automotive on page 6 of 13. The adjustments are for a period of April 1st to April 28th, 2025. These span 12 customers, And I would ask for your approval for both of those.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve our claims and utility adjustments as presented.
I'll second.
Any comments, questions for Philip? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the claims and utility adjustments as presented by our clerk treasurer, say aye.
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 Any opposed? None. Hearing, it passes 5-0. Item 8, town manager report.
So the only couple of items that I have is, it's almost the month of May, right? Thursday is May the 1st, and the mini marathon is this weekend. So looking forward to May.
Running?
No,
Okay.
I only run when I'm being chased, and I'm not going to run that fast, to be honest.
Your wife's pretty fast.
Anything else, Harry?
Nope, that's it.
Any questions for Grant?
Excuse me.
All right, moving on to reports from council members. Sarah?
Yeah, just a few things tonight. Just a thank you to, we did a ribbon cutting for Body Beautiful and Lush Spa last week, so great turnout. That was wonderful, so definitely check out Carrie's business. She's there on Cunningham Road at the 2222 building. It's hard not to see that right by the Dollar Tree. So that was last week, and then, yeah, kind of echoing what you said about May's coming up. I know you already had your TV debut last week, right, with Brooke, and I think we have something else coming up Thursday, so lots of exciting things happening like tomorrow. So just have fun with it. Enjoy the month of May. Be safe. And yeah,
Enjoy the
it'll be gone before we know it. So enjoy the month. That's all I got.
Sean?
Nothing for me tonight.
Right. Vince?
I think it's important just to make note that we're going to have a lot of visitors coming in, and it's best to keep our town clean. I know the street department and all the departments are out there trying to keep the trash corralled. And I just want to mention that we had the Boy Scouts out picking up trash along 26th Street, Moeller, and all the way down 25th Street. There's quite a bit of excess trash blowing around. So anybody out walking, just kind of, if you can help pick up some of the miscellaneous paper that's flying around, I think it just adds to our livability as a clean city. And, that we watch out and make sure we take care of our city from that standpoint. So that's a good look from that standpoint. That's all I've got.
Jason?
Nothing for me tonight.
All right, at 7:18, I call this meeting adjourned. Thank you.
There we go. Good job.